In the battle of 9 to 5s versus entrepreneurship, the person who wins the battle is the one who can decide to stop working today and will be financially set for the rest of their lives. So, who are you putting your money on, 9 to 5 or entrepreneurship? Let's be very honest and cut to the chase here. There is no right answer whether it's 9 to 5 or entrepreneurship because one isn't better than the other. Hear me out. You cannot make a one size fit all argument for this conversation because someone might just make a better employee than they are a business owner. Some people don't even like people enough to own businesses. I think we just need to drop the this is better than that view of this conversation and focus more on the big picture, which is what brings an individual more joy than the other. Now, let's talk about a 9 to 5. I can't give much of an opinion on entrepreneurship because I've never been an entrepreneur. So, if you want to learn from the perspective of an entrepreneur, follow someone who has tried both and get their opinion on it. I am going to talk about leveraging your 9 to 5 to make a life for yourself that might not be so dreadful. If we're being honest with ourselves here, it is genuinely rare to come across someone who is passionate about their 9 to 5. Not even just passion, it is rare to find people who like what they're doing when they wake up and clock in at 9 and leave at 5. So, why exactly am I pushing the narrative of a 9 to 5? Let me just let you know I'm not pushing a narrative. I am just sharing how you can leverage what you have to build a better life for yourself. As someone who personally doesn't dream of working, I don't plan on doing it my whole life, and I am living my days trying to figure out how to leverage what I have to get the life that I envision for myself long term. Let's talk about some positives in a 9 to 5. It's not all bad. It can't be all bad. There is a stability that comes with a 9 to 5. Using the money that you get from your job, you can create financial stability for yourself, like putting money into investments, savings, paying off debt, and just generally choosing to make decisions with that money that can increase it. So you're not just keeping that money flat. We'll talk more about the financial stability in a 9 to 5 later on. Another thing you can gain from a 9 to 5 is skill building. When you choose a job, they chose you because of a specific skill that you have. And while you're on that job, you're also improving said skills and adding time onto that experience. And let's talk about the negatives as well. Of course, there is burnout. A lot of people are burnt out from their jobs. I mean, people barely want to socialize anymore because they give everything to their 9 to 5s, and the little bit of time they have for themselves, they just want to couch rot and not really care to engage with more social energy anymore. There is lack of fulfillment and there is living paycheck to paycheck. Why are we talking about the benefits of a 9 to 5 again? You have to try your best to avoid the identity trap. What do I mean by this? A lot of people are not even aware that they are in an identity trap with their 9 to 5. And being trapped in that is one of the surest way to fall into a dreadful cycle of work. There is no way you're going to find a good quality of life if everything about you is tied into your work. If you're still not sure of this identity trap that I speak of, here's a litmus test to let you know that you might have an identity trap with your job. Number one, do you bring your job home more times than not, especially on the weekends? Two, do you have routines outside of work? Or is it wake up, work, lunch, work, home, repeat? Three, are you always eager to tell people what you do for work when you first meet up with them or in casual conversations? Four, are you always curious to know what someone does for work when you meet them for the first time or in casual conversation? Five, is your job title or where you work on all your social media bios? Six, do you feel a strong sense of your self-worth tied to your job? There's nothing wrong with loving your job. This is just a litmus test to see if your identity is trapped to your job. If you said yes to more answers than no, or to all of them, and it might be a little trap you might have caught yourself in. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just checking the pulse to see how we're doing over here. To avoid being in this identity trap within yourself and your 9 to 5, you should work on setting boundaries with your job. People are going to be like, yeah, but the project needs to be done. It doesn't matter what time of the day. Let me tell you something. If you don't set that boundary where you shut off your computers by 5 or whatever time you're done with work and you don't access work anymore, no one is going to respect your lack of boundaries. No one is going to remind you to set boundaries at work. In fact, they're very happy that you're clocked in at 8 p.m. working on that project. You don't have to be on your laptop by 8 p.m. doing that project. It can wait until tomorrow. When you constantly have to put yourself past your boundary, it's not going to stop until you make the decision to stop. I have always made it a must to set boundaries at work. There's certain times I don't take meetings. I will respectfully decline your meeting and suggest another time. Is the world burning? Would this meeting be okay with us having it tomorrow? Is the world going to burn if I don't submit this project in the next hour? No? Well, you will get it when my bandwidth allows. And I always communicate that. And of course, you have a great big job title and you work at this huge organization. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, I love when people are passionate about their jobs and what they do and where they work. However, no one is taking your accolades away from you. No one is taking your achievements away. Like, it's okay that you work there. It doesn't have to be all that you are about. Our first two words to each other should not be you asking me what I do for work and vice versa. Now, on to our next point. You have to use your 9 to 5 as a tool rather than a trap. You can use the money you make from your 9 to 5 to fund your other passions, whether that be side hustles, small businesses, scaling your business, traveling, whatever passion that might be, even learning on the side. You can use the money you make from your 9 to 5 to fund other things that bring you joy in life. Remember, I mentioned in the beginning, your 9 to 5 can be used for financial stability. The money from your 9 to 5 doesn't just have to be invested into compound interest or savings and debt and all of that. You can use it to invest in yourself, to do the things that bring you joy and fulfill your passion. Another way you can use your 9 to 5 as a tool is using it to build your finances. I had mentioned before the financial stability, but really honing into it, you can build your finances up by saving, investing, and having compounding interest. A lot of companies have employer matches. Take this to your advantage. This is where your employer matches your contribution into your retirement savings up to a certain amount. If you have this at your job, you certainly want to take advantage of it. This is a benefit to you. You can also use your money for short-term savings, paying off debt, and eventually becoming financially free. You can also use your 9 to 5 to build up your skills and your connections. You can keep learning and getting better at what you were hired for at that organization up to a point where you're confident enough to even become an independent contractor. I am not well versed on independent contracting, but from what I know about independent contracting, you have more control of choosing how you want to show up at a certain organization. Now, I have mentioned ways that you can use your 9 to 5 as a tool rather than a trap, whether that be traveling, investing, having side hustles, starting a business, whatever that might look like for you. Where do you find the time while working this 9 to 5 that pays you to have passions and have other things on the side? I just want to take this pause to remind you, if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and engage with my videos. Leave a like, a comment, so that we can stay engaged with each other. Now let's get back to the video. You can make time for things that bring you joy outside of your 9 to 5. One of the ways that I have mentioned is setting that boundary. In setting your boundary, you eliminate that overlap between your personal life and your job. If you have your personal life intertwined with your job, it's going to make it very hard to find the space or time to have anything else outside of work. And what happens is you leave yourself overwhelmed, you're burnt out, and you just genuinely don't have time to take care of yourself. And that's never a good thing. So give yourself boundaries with your job so that you have time to create space for things that make you feel alive. You want to be able to work out on a weekday or meet up with your friend for drinks or coffee or record a video for your content page, something else that isn't your job. I think we have a huge misconception that we're supposed to pour everything into a job. We're supposed to just lay it out on the table Monday through Friday, and then at 5 p.m. on Friday to 11 p.m. on Sunday is the time we have for ourselves. That just is not a great balance. It's not an equal time. And if anything, you should be giving yourself a little more time than that. And what happens is you probably will end up being depressed if you give 90% of yourself to work and you only have 10% for yourself, whether that be a 9 to 5 or entrepreneurship. You have to make time for yourself. There's this pressure out in the social universe where you're supposed to just quit your job and pursue entrepreneurship and run a business or own something. And while there's nothing wrong with having your own business, owning a business, not working a 9 to 5, quitting your 9 to 5 is not the only answer. You can have a 9 to 5 while pursuing your passions. Of course, if you're completely dissatisfied with your job and your career or just being in the corporate space in general, quit the job. F that job. I'm just here to let you know that quitting is not the only answer. It is completely okay to have a 9 to 5 mixed in with your passion projects. You see people all the time who have jobs and also show up in the content space or also have side businesses. This is not me advocating for hustle culture in any sense. I'm just saying it is possible to do both and not be burnt out. I'm not a supporter of burnout. I also want to crumble that idea that entrepreneurship is so much better than a 9 to 5. A real entrepreneur would tell you that entrepreneurship is not the easy way out. Entrepreneurship should not be a decision you're trying to make just to escape working. You're going to still work as an entrepreneur. In fact, you might work more. You might exhaust more time, but at least you're passionate about what you're doing because you've chosen to take that route. You've chosen to invest in that business, and it's you. That's the thing about entrepreneurship. If it's something that you care about, you're going to excel at it because you care about it and you're going to pour everything into it. So yeah, don't let social media fool you into thinking entrepreneurship is this glamorous step to take. Only do it if you have the passion to. In everything you do in life, you need balance. So yes, you can have a 9 to 5 and also have passions and use both to fund your dream life. All you really need is a plan. Once you have a plan in place and you follow through with it, you're well on your way to whatever freedom you require for yourself. Now, do you feel like your 9 to 5 is holding you back from being Jeff Bezos? Well, if that's how you feel, quit that job and go pursue your dreams. I support it all the way. Comment below and let me know where you stand in the 9 to 5 versus entrepreneurship. Your answer should be none because there's no right answer. One is not better than the other. It's all about you as the person, what you're passionate about, and what brings you genuine joy in life. Me personally, I just want to be paid for living. I don't want to run a business. I don't want to clock into a job. I just want to wake up in the morning and have someone tell me the 1 million deposit has been made. And I say thank you. And I go back to sleep. You know? Is that too much to ask for? Anyway, I'll see you in the next video, friends. Bye.